the cold, so we didn't want to leave Joe Higgins there unnecessarily shivering outside Leinster. Joe Higgins, I mean, Pat Rabbit has been making the point here that if you want to apply the test of fairness to this budget, it's a test that the budget will pass.
On the basis of fairness, absolutely no way. This is another savage deflationary budget, which will unfortunately intensify the disastrous effects of austerity, which have been wreaked by the previous government and continued by Fine Gael and Labour. The cuts in capital spending and the further savage attacks on living standards are going to further depress the domestic economy and thereby affect demand. So unfortunately, we're going to see a very high level of unemployment continuing, emigration and so on. And some of the meanest cuts affecting elderly people, affecting job seekers, the savage increases in student fees and the property tax particularly are going to have a catastrophic further effect on the incomes and the living standards of ordinary people who are struggling already as a result of this agenda, which is bailing out bondholders, bankers and speculators at the expense of our people.
But we're also seeing a range of measures that will hit those with wealth and those on the highest incomes, and that's the balance that the government has been trying to strike.
By no means it is purely cosmetic. The burden that the new burdens that arise from this budget fall on middle and lower income people, including people on social welfare. The property tax, I believe, particularly will undoubtedly be a flashpoint, one of the main flashpoints of this budget. When you're talking about people in very average homes paying between €300 and €500 in a full year at the current rate, but of course, as everybody there knows, if this were allowed to be implemented and the system of a property tax, which is a home tax, a tax on the family and on the individual home, really, if that was allowed to be implemented, of course, any government can increase the rate from 0.18% to anything that they wish. So, in fact, we would be talking about property tax going from 500 to 1,000. But the fact is that 50% of homeowners single homeowners continue to boycott the existing household tax. That will be intensified as this new burden comes into view.
Joe Higgins,
and therefore, this will be hugely controversial, and there will be massive resistance continuing.
Yeah, I want to bring in Padraig McLaughlin.